want to talk about everything you need to know about the Ecoflow Delta 3 Pro. Everything you're going to need to know to make a good decision. Like this big decision, a lot of times when people are looking at a battery like this, they're looking at a few of the top brands and they want to select one of those brands because they want to stay in the ecosystem. I want to show you some of the things that are really nice about the Ecoflow so you have more information on which brand you should choose and which one will work best for your scenario and your situation.
I love how many plugs you have and how they structure the plugs or how they hid the plugs. So on the front, you have that, the 4 120 volt outlets. And then on the side, you actually have this hidden 240 volt RV plug, and it's all just hidden in that gate. Just makes it nice. Makes it look nicer and hides everything away. And then you have two 240 volts on the front as well. Then on this side, you have that same kind of door, the hidden door that you can slide back. In there, you have a barrel plug, you have the Ethernet connector, and you have a standard just wire, 12 volt wire plug. So you can plug the positive in the red and the negative in the black, or the neutral in the black. I haven't seen that type of plug on any other power stations. That's nice. Then if we go on the back, we have a ton more. And again, it's really organized. So on the back, you have the two add-on connectors where you can either plug in a generator or you can actually plug on additional batteries to those two. Batteries creating a 12 kilowatt system, and they both close up like that, which is awesome. Then this one is actually in and out plug. It actually can push power and intake power, which is really nice. These little doors are awesome. You can close them up, and when you open it, they're not flopping around everywhere, a chance of breaking. You literally slide them underneath. It's just an awesome setup. I really like how they did that. And then on top, you have a higher voltage wall plug as well as your two solar inputs. Okay, so I'll plug in the wall connector. It's a larger version of the normal computer plug. So the large version of that, you can actually use your normal computer plug. It is a little bit different. So you plug that in there and you can adjust it to either be fast charging directly on here or just use it in the adjust mode, and you can then adjust it from the app. Next to that, you got your two solar plugs. And those two solar plugs, one is a 150 volt solar plug and the other is a 60 volt solar plug. So you do have to be careful about which one you're putting which system on or which part of your system on. We have quite a few scuffs and stuff on this top handle because we oftentimes will set it up either when we're transporting it or just fitting it onto wherever we're going. And that's actually meant to do that. It's meant to have this big, it's actually meant to be set up like that, but it will scratch it up unless you have one of those rubberized handles that some of them come with. We set it up a lot like this when we're transporting it. It fits better in the truck. On the bottom, you got these nice pads, and then you can see where the handle is stuck in there. You can pull out the handle. It makes it really easy to move it around. It's a really heavy battery, but even though it's super heavy, the handle makes it really easy to move around. And the wheels are good. They're big. They're rubber. They allow it to move through dirt, grass, concrete. It's really actually pretty easy to move around, even though it is so big. While it's upright, you can actually access a lot of the plugs. So you got the 240 volt RV plug right there, and then you can access all the 220 and 120 volts on top. And then you can access this side plug as well. So a lot of things you can do with it when it is up like this. And we tend to use it quite a bit with it up like this, just because it fits better. This is what the wheels look like. I actually have a pretty thick rubber on them. As you can see, we run it through the dirt or over weeds and in grass and rubble. It's been everywhere. You can see some dings out of the wheel actually because we've taken it everywhere. But it's been great. They've been phenomenal wheels. They hold up well and they seem to go over anything. Okay, so let's look at the front, the screen, some of the things on the front. One of the things to note, you can't turn on the 120 and the 240 side at the same time. So if you turn on the 240, it's going to automatically turn off the 120. And if you turn on the 120, it's going to automatically turn off the 240. So you can't run those two systems at the same time, those two output methods at the same time. The screen is really nice. It's a huge screen. Got the input, the output. And there's also quite a few different metrics that you can see on the front. So you can see what's plugged in actually, as well as on the app. And you can also see how long things are going to run, just pretty standard things from the screen. A lot more functionality from the app as well, and you can have that smart panel you can connect this to that you can actually see exact what products are being ran at the same time. You can see it in all lightings. It's super bright in here and you can see it well. So I really like the screen. It's easy to see, easy to use. It's bright. It doesn't have too much information. There's no touch screen nonsense. It's a good screen. I like it. Right next to the handle, you got this vent. You actually have very little noise, which is awesome. Expect when it's at its peak power. So you got those two vents on each side. Then you got a big flat spot on the top where you can add the additional batteries, and they stack on there really nicely. This is a pretty low power test, but this is something we use this power station for a lot. We use it for lighting setups on the go and out in the field. And so this is one of our spotlights. It's a relatively powerful spotlight. It goes up to 75, 80 watts. And this is kind of showing that output. And for example, with this power station, we can last an hour. For example, with this power station, we can last a day and a half with, for example, with this power station, we can run this light for a day and a half. And it just gives us a ton of power so that we can use things as long as we need to on a shoot. So for example, we might have 8 hours, of power with the setup that we have. So we can do everything we need for 8 hours with a battery like this. So just an incredible amount of power, so much power for, and it's super, super portable. As we're adjusting how much output, you can see how it adjusts how many days or how much power you have left. So we're at like 3 days and 4 hours, or we're at like 3 days and 3.5 days almost, just because it's at 11 watts. But it just gives you an idea of the functionality of this, where it shows you how much more time you have. So you know how much time you have, especially when you don't have another power source. It's really nice to know exactly how much time you have based on what you're running. So love that functionality. As we change it, it adjusts what we're using and how long it's going to be. So for example, we added 250 watts. For example, now we're changing it to, now I've changed the wattage, and you can see how that affects how much power or how long it says it's going to be lasting. We absolutely love these batteries. We actually have 3 of them. These are 3 Delta 3 Pros, and they've been phenomenal for us. Have actually used 3 at one shoot at one time, and they've been a game changer. We also got this Ecoflow 50 amp hub. Basically what it is it allows you to connect 2 of the batteries together and output a consistent 8,000 watts. So we can connect 2 of those together for some of our bigger equipment that we need. Some of our bigger lighting setups and things like that. So we can have 8,000 out instead of 2 separate 4,000 out. These have been phenomenal batteries. If you're looking for a big battery like this, we found that Ecoflow was one of the best deals, as well as one of the best performing batteries. We store it here. They don't take up a ton of space, and they have absolutely been phenomenal for us.